Hello, everybody. It is a beautiful, sunny, warm day in Waxahachie, Texas.
It is.
And today we have a group all the way from England called the Roselleys. Welcome, you guys. So glad to have you here. It is a blessing.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
We certainly feel welcome. Thank you.
Well, good.
You guys flew in where to San Antonio
Yeah.
yesterday, or
Well,
Wednesday.
Two
Wednesday.
nights ago. I don't know. We've been staying with the Laven, so it's just been a blur for the last 3 days of drinking and playing and staying up as late as possible.
you know, you're not
Is
the
that
first
how you
people
get
that
over
have
jet
come,
lag?
Yeah, I think.
and
that,
you're not the first people that have come here trying to sober up from their house.
Yeah.
We're picking on Rachel. She's sitting in the back,
She was nice enough to drive you up here today
She did,
from
yes.
San Antonio.
Thank you,
Oh, yeah.
Rachel.
and they're on their way to Nashville.
Yes, that's right.
And actually, Rachel set this whole thing up because she knew us and she
Right.
knew them.
Yep.
There's nothing
And,
like
you know,
networking.
wow.
It's such a
I
good
know,
thing.
I know. It's so lovely. We had the Lavens over to England in July. So they came for a tour,
Yeah.
which we set up for them. And they went down really well, of course.
Okay, so let's talk about you guys individually. Tell us where you were born and raised. We know you're from the UK, but get a little bit more detailed. And then we want to talk to you about what got you into music and
Sure.
why you
And,
stayed.
and state your name because I didn't
Yes.
do that. I just
Oh, okay.
stated your group name. Sorry about that.
So I'm Rebecca.
Yes.
And my background, I was born in Germany in 1985. And the reason I was born in Germany is because my parents were British, English, but they were doing classical music in Germany. My dad's an opera conductor and my mum's a cellist. So they went there for 10 years to study, well, to develop the opera for my dad.
So you come by your talent honestly, I see.
Yeah. So I was there till I was 4, and then we moved back to England, and I grew up near London. I was brought up very much in a musical house, piano, cello, and school orchestra and things, but I always loved singing and playing around with sort of pop songs on the piano, but my parents weren't really into other styles of music, really. So I had sort of got into that myself when I was 18, 19. I sort of started listening to some other stuff. Came across, actually I found we call it a charity shop, you call it a thrift shop. I used to like going around with my portable CD player and trying out CDs. They used to let me listen to.
Oh, that's cool.
Listen to random stuff and buy it if I liked it. And I found the Dixie Chicks, and I bought that CD, and I liked the sort of the sound of that. And I hadn't really heard much country music before. And soon after that, I started learning guitar. And I met Simon when I was 19, and he'll tell you his background, but he was very much into playing fiddle and country music. So he introduced me to a lot of the stuff we're playing now. But I've always been into music and singing, but live music and performance like this came after we met, really.
Were you in Britain? At what point in time did you come back?
When I was 4, 1989.
When you were 4, so.
Yeah.
So really your growing up time was in England, not
Yes,
in Germany.
exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But she was made in Germany, which I often remind her.
Which is
So tell
fine.
us
They
about-
make good things.
Tell us about Simon.
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 Yes. Often I'm referred to in Texas as Diamond because someone misheard Simon and thought my name was Diamond.
Diamond Simon. That's
Yeah.
got a ring.
Thank you.
Sometimes I'm known as Diamond, and then we had to think of a name for Rebecca that would match, so we call her Ruby sometimes, but she's
All
not
right.
so keen on that. I was born in England, just north of London, in a town called Watford, which isn't particularly musical or anything. My father is a very good musician. He's played guitar since he was a teenager, and then as he got older he learnt to play accordion, and now he plays pedal steel with us, and mandolin and all sorts. So I always had music on in the house, and my mum is tone deaf, so she's not allowed to do anything or sing. But,
She's safe.
She's safe, yeah. She just has to put up with my dad. That's her job.
Well.
So I grew up with a really eclectic tastes of music, from classical. I remember being taken to opera and classical things when I was a kid, right through to Rykuda, Buena Vista, Delbert McClinton.
Delbert will change your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he can. I mean, he can.
Yeah.
I've known him to change people's musical careers when they
Yeah.
discovered him.
Yeah, and I think one of my favourite CDs in the world I've got is he did a live in Austin, Texas. He like with a full brass.
And it was
section
so
and
raw.
everything.
It was so
Yeah.
Just organic. You know,
Yeah.
that's what was so good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that too.
And so I've had those influences, and there was never any pop music in our house, or all my friends were listening to stuff that was on the radio, and I was into Rykud as a huge influence, and then James Taylor later on, which was kind of I found him. My dad's not such a fan, so everything really. I mean, I like Michael Jackson. I like dubstep now. I like if it's good, I like it.
And at what point in time did you guys start deciding you wanted to play music, actually go out in front of people and play professionally?
I did my first paid show I'm a fiddle player. The guitar is new to me. I did my first paid show when I was 12, playing Cajun fiddle, because my dad was playing the Cajun accordion. So I joined his band and did my first show with them. They're called the Bon Ton Playboys. They've been going for many, many years. I've been with them for 26 years, and they were going long before that. So I've been on stage since I was 12, just as a fiddle player. And then Rebecca and I met 11 years ago. We've been together, and I knew 2 chords on the guitar maybe, and Becca knew 3, I would say.
Oh, wow.
And so she was at medical school in Nottingham, and we just met, and I would drive up at the weekends, and we had one 3/4 size nylon string guitar, and we would just learn chords together on this one guitar. Mostly of a band that I was getting into at the time, which is called the Redlands Palomino Company, which is one of the top country rock bands in the UK. And so we would learn their songs and go out to open mic nights and play 2 or 3 songs badly with our 3 chords. And then we bought a guitar each really cheap, and it just really escalated very quickly. Rebecca does.
Now you're sitting here with Gretches and Martins. I like it.
We have expensive tastes.
Yeah, we have some custom built guitars. In fact, Rachel has one in that case right there. One of our dear friends, Mike Armand from LeCount, Louisiana, who we've known for a while, builds custom guitars. And so we haven't travelled with them on this trip because they're very precious. But
they really are beautiful.
Yeah,
guitars.
You know what's cool, Helen, about this too is that a lot of times you don't think about there being country or country rock or bluegrass oriented people in the UK that are playing.
Right.
I mean, it's just something that I don't think Americans realize.
It's very, very
is
popular.
going on, you know. So it's really cool to find.
And you
that
know what?
out,
You know what I think is really cool too, or unusual, is that speaking with y'all, you've got the British accent, but when you start singing, nobody would know where you're from because you just sound
That's the
American.
same
You don't
as-
have the
There are
accent.
certain words.
There
that
are
give
certain
away.
words.
There's
I
I
certain
do try and
words.
sing some English words where it sounds appropriate. If we sang
Yeah.
completely English, it sounds like English folk music.
Ah.
And when you're playing Americana country, it kind of would sound a bit odd to sing in your pure English accent.
Yeah.
But I do like to put some English sounding words if I can. But I think everyone in England listens to music that most people sing American, even all through pop, rock,
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
It's
apart
interesting
from
that you
English
call
folk,
it American. But you call it
Americana.
American more because of the music than because of the language, probably.
Yeah,
You
it's because
know,
of the
'cause that's what you
influences,
learn.
southern states, yeah. But it is very popular, and a lot of American artists are coming over to England and doing really well in roots Americana music. They go down very, very well. So people like the sound.
When did you guys start writing? Start really realizing you could write and you wanted to write your own
It was
music?
quite
Because
early
that's,
on.
together, yeah. straight.
That's even the coolest thing, because you're not only are you playing an interesting form of music in a place that I think is exotic, for to play what I would call American style music over there in another country away from where it originated, and then all of a sudden you guys are writing things in that vein too. That's even cooler. I mean, that's
think-
the way it should be, you know.
I think it came, well, really early on. Like I said, when I started guitar, I didn't really think I was going to be a singer-songwriter. I don't know, it just sort of happened. It was a bit like fate. I just learnt guitar for 3 months in my first year of university. Some guys had shown me some chords. My friend had bought a guitar back, so I thought, oh, well, I'll bring my mum's guitar back. And I really had never touched the guitar before. I did like the other instruments, but it came quite naturally. And I did an open mic night and met Simon very randomly that night. So I think it was kind of fate, and then we started writing songs within a couple of months. We actually did our first little album within a year. And I think just getting ourselves out there early and recording an album quickly sort of makes you progress quicker
And you
as well.
inspired each other then, I take it.
Oh yeah, we had a
in the
lot of
process.
inspiration from meeting. I wrote a few love songs, and
Now, are you two married or just
Nope.
together?
we're not. We're a bit
Well,
not very traditional.
every
We
It's all right.
we're not.
every time we've got anywhere near enough money to get married, we can buy some guitars and come back to America.
There you go.
That's what we do.
So where did the name the Roselleys come from?
My surname's Rosewell and Simon is Kelly.
So
we
it's the Rose
combine
of
the
Rosewell and
names.
the Ellie of Kelly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We just made it up.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
one
it's-
really knows how to say it or spell it, so it's actually when we
Now,
say
is
Rose.
Kelly a British name or an Irish
Well, I
name?
think it's Irish if you would go far enough
Yeah.
back.
There's a
but,
lot of Kellys in England and
yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah, I don't have any Irish family that are alive, certainly. So.
Rosewell is a Scottish clan. I don't know. I think I've got backgrounds from Wales and England, and so that's where it came from. But I think we took a lot of influence actually from travelling quite early on, because we did this big trip a year after we met, where we bought this Martin and the other Martins back at home, but we went to Las Vegas. And
So you could have got married there, guys.
we could
Well, I did actually offer to do that, and
Yeah.
she said no. Well, we were driving through. We bought we flew out to Los Angeles, and we bought a 1971 Volkswagen camper van, and then we drove clear across the country. We did 8,000 miles zigzagging around with
wow.
two Martin guitars and this old rusty Volkswagen. And at one point, we were driving on the side of the interstate. There was a sign that said like "Get married for $20," and so
Yeah?
as we drove past it, I kind of went, "Do you want to?" And she's like, "No." So we didn't. So we're not married, but
Okay.
we could have been for $20. But she
Hey.
said
yeah, we've done a lot of
Dang.
travels together. So
Yeah.
Hey, 1995, right up the street here. If you want to
no. Really? Well, you know, I'm not asking twice, Randy.
It's in a town called Italy. Right down the road. That's the way they pronounce it here. You know.
Now, you've got a lot of things coming up. You're on your way to Nashville doing some unofficial showcases
Yes.
there
Yep.
with Rachel, correct?
Yeah,
We're doing
which is
some
cool.
with Rachel
Yep.
and some with our good friend who lives in Nashville called Don Gallardo, who's a great singer-songwriter. He's on our record label back in England as well, Clubhouse Records. So we're doing some stuff there. We come back to do Southwest Regional Folk Alliance with Rachel Laven, who's also playing with Sweet Shine and Honey, her band. So we've been picked for an official showcase for that, which is really exciting.
Wonderful. That's an honor.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've been
Yeah.
playing in America I've been playing fiddle in Louisiana and stuff for like 16 years or so, but we've been coming back to America since that first trip 10 years ago.
I noticed that y'all are here kind of often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you most like about playing over here as opposed to playing in Europe?
We love the
Can
people.
I say burgers and sweet tea?
Sure. Well, you damn sure can.
I
its
will
motivation
say that outside of the wonderful Indian food I had in London
Yeah.
and the wonderful fish and chips in Bexhill,
Yeah.
the food over there ain't that hot.
Really? So
I
I've
don't
heard this a
think.
lot, but I don't
No.
know.
There's some great
Yeah.
multicultural foods, and I think it depends where you go. It's luck of the draw, you know,
Yeah.
if you know where to go. But we live in Bristol, which is southwest. It's a very up-and-coming city. It's the second place people want to go after London.
Oh, okay.
So it's got some great independent restaurants,
Yeah.
and is fantastic. But Simon absolutely loves American culture, probably from his background, and I do too. But I think the people really bring us back
Yeah.
mostly.
And
Now,
the
do you
people-
like
experiences.
American culture or Louisiana culture? There is a difference.
There is a big difference. I like the southern states, I have to
Yeah,
say.
me
We've
too.
travelled a lot through. We've spent a lot of time in California in the past, and we've been up as far as Pennsylvania. But, you know, we keep coming back to Texas, Louisiana, a little bit more recently in Tennessee, but that's really because of Nashville and the kind
Right.
of music scene that's there. But I think if ever I could move to America, it would be a real hard decision between Texas and Louisiana.
They're very
Well,
different.
there's just
They're
a
very
river
different.
between the two. So
That's right.
Yeah.
We get such a good experience every time we come, and more friends every time. We have to sort of stay longer and longer to try and
Yeah.
catch up with everybody we meet. But,
Yeah.
I will say
we just
this:
feel lucky.
that I agree with you. There's something about when I traveled more than I travel now. I liked Texas, Louisiana, what they call Lower Alabama, the Florida Panhandle. I love that area down
Yeah.
there,
Georgia.
and Georgia and Alabama,
Yeah.
Mississippi, and
Absolutely.
all those. I mean,
Yeah.
Tennessee,
We're attracted to
the entire South.
the outdoor
I
culture,
liked
the music.
Florida less than I liked what I call the Deep South.
Yeah.
Florida's like somebody just said it there. You know?
Well, again, it's different parts, isn't it?
Now watch it.
But I mean, it's
we have
like,
Florida
I'm not talking-
listeners that we
I'm
love.
not talking about the upper part. I'm not talking about Lower Alabama, y'all. I'm talking about that. Yankee
Quit while
land.
you're ahead, Trevor.
No, I know. Hey,
That's enough.
But it's
I already
definitely
know how to run those Yankees off. So.
I think the phrase Southern hospitality is a huge thing, and the people. I mean, music is about people and stories about people and meeting people and eating with people and playing with people.
Oh, yeah.
And in the South, that's just really easy to do with the Southern hospitality.
You're in the South, and I think we ought to hear some of y'all's music.
I
right now.
can't wait.
What does everybody in this audience think?
Yeah.
We're going to come back with...
The Roselleys.
There you go.
Thank you.